And that lying spirit that's in that King James Version was placed here very, very strategically. It was designed to place a programming within your subconscious coding. The mechanics of the mind is something that you ought to look into before even thinking of introducing this book to your children. This scripted grimoire, this cursor, a lying spirit. A lying spirit is a cursor, and you will be the cursee, the one who receives the curse from within the King James Version. The King James Version is written in a way with very, very strong delusionment, as it talks about in the book of 2 Thessalonians. When you go to 2 Thessalonians, read the whole book so you won't think I'm cherry picking. You will get to a point very quickly within the book in the first few chapters, and you will realize that a strong delusionment, a lying spirit, was sent forth from the throne of God in the mouth of the prophets. The priests and the prophets both are profane. The priest and the prophet are just like the people, deeply rooted in chaos and corruption, right? The people go to the source of the book for a solution, but the source of the book is the source of the created chaos, right? You've been wondering and you've been feeling this all of your life. Isn't it so? That something was wrong. That something was deeply, deeply, deeply wrong. And you continued to read words written down that came out of the mouth of lying prophets. Now, one would think and get lost in the story rather than receiving what's actually being said, that it's only Ahab's prophets that a lying spirit is in their mouths. You can quickly go on YouTube and find people who are preaching Christianity that have a lying spirit in their mouth. And this clearly tells you the source from which the lying spirit came. It came from within the vicinity of the throne of God that has to be within heaven. So there was a lying spirit in heaven, according to this. And so you're wondering, why would people enter into the job, the office of preaching about God, but yet have a lying spirit in their mouth? The lying spirit in the mouth is contained within the 27 books. This is the books that they really like to preach out of. But the foundation is here, because 1 Kings chapter 22, verses 19 and 24 can be found among the 39 books, right? In the book of Jude, in this book, it tells you that those of old times entered into the pastor's job, the prophet's job, the priest's job, and they were ordained to bring in a lying spirit. Who are these people that were brought in and were ordained from old that are renowned, right? That crept into your mind with a lying spirit. It's in the book of Jude. Go read it. The book is clearly telling you that God is the devil and the devil is God. I'm going to say that again. The devil is God and God is the devil. Now that's a lying spirit, right? If you go to the source of the problem for the solution, then you're going to get more of the problems. This is the King James Version. The King James Version tell you about the number 666. This is what the book say, right? Pastor, priest, prophet, Bible thumper. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in a court of law or in this cross-examination. You have a right to plead the fifth. But a lying spirit is going to come out of your mouth, right? And you're going to try to defend what's written in this King James Version, when in fact, God is the devil and the devil is God, right? Let's go to the Lord's Prayer. And before we go to the Lord's Prayer, because the Lord's Prayer is contained within these 27 books. I told you this is the ones they like to deal with. The ones on the right or the ones on the left. Or the ones on the left or the ones on the right. So that's the contradiction. So let's deal with the contradiction in the Lord's Prayer. In the Lord's Prayer, right, we are told to pray to the Father for help from Satan, from a lying spirit, for Satan is a liar, and God is not a man that he should lie, right? So the tempter in the Bible is Satan. We're being enticed by a lying spirit, Satan, right? He tempts us. He wants us to break the commandments and the laws and the statutes of God. That's what they tell us, and that we should keep those laws, statutes, and commandments and not break them. We should seek honor. Honor means to actually commit yourself to something and honor your word, so we shouldn't break the laws, the statutes, and commandments of God. But here, clearly, God is breaking all of the laws, right? Because the Satan is the tempter, the one who wants to deliver us into hell. But in the Lord's Prayer, contained within these 27 books, we are told, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, right? Forgive us of those who trespass against us, right? And then we get to a point where we realize, and if we slow it down and listen to what we're saying, we realize that we're pleading to the devil not to tempt us. Yeah, in the Lord's Prayer. And lead us not into temptation. Well, how are we going to be led into temptation? We're going to be led into temptation by a lying what? Spirit. And we're asking God not to entice us, not to send a lying spirit from his throne, from within his presence, to entice us and lead us into something bad. We're pleading to God, or are we pleading to the lying spirit, Satan, not to tempt us? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Jesus said, when you pray, pray to my Father and say this. Say it to my Father not to lead you into temptation. I'm asking you, why would God lead you into temptation? He clearly tells you why he'll do it right here. Because man has free will. Man has such a free will that God has to alter his free will after he gave it to him. Ain't that a contradiction again? God gave you free will, but here God is sending lying spirits to change your will. Well, if my will is free, why would God want to change it? And why is God changing what he said? God said, I does not change. I do not repent. I'm the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. But it appears that, according to this King James Version, God is changing up all the time, flipping and flopping. Clearly, we should realize that this book, this King James Version, is definitely leading us in the wrong direction. Are there any contradictions in the Bible? Do you know what a contradiction is? Do you know what cognitive dissonance is? Do you know what Stockholm Syndrome is? And is God the devil, and is the devil God? These are the common sense questions that we're asking. This is another New Black World Order TV Productions. Chopper. Trust information, but verified. Measure twice and cut once.